Welcome back to another video, and as you can tell, I'm standing in the shop, and in this video I wanted to show the electrical work I've done. As you can tell, it's a lot brighter than it has been in the other videos I've been in here. It's because I got permanent lights. I got 16 of them. I have electrical outlets for 110, 240. I've got some extension cord reels that are retractable, permanently mounted on the wall. This stuff's permanent. Got a 100 amp breaker box installed to run all of it. And I'm going to start off saying I'm not a licensed electrician. I'm not, don't know just a ton about electrical work, but I know enough to be able to do a project like this. So, it's probably not the greatest electrical work, but it works for what I'm going to be doing. So, all right, I figured I'd show off how bright this is in here with the lights. I got 16 of them. As you can see how bright they are in the camera. They kind of feel a little bit reflecting, but they light the shop up really well. And there's very little shadows in here, which is going to make working on stuff good. But over here by the door is where I have the electrical or the breaker box mounted. I'm not the world's greatest at bending conduit, and I didn't figure you guys would want to watch me bend conduit, so I went ahead and did it. It turned out all right. It's not perfect, but it'll work. I got a 100 amp. This is a square D electrical box from Home Depot. Oh, it looks like on the inside. I'll kind of take it apart and show you exactly how the wires go into it. They come out. These are my switches for my lights. I got the interior and exterior lighting. And down here I got an outlet there. 240 outlet and a 110 outlet. And then I found these at Home Depot. They're a 50-foot Husky tractable extension cord reel, which they're 50 foot, so that should get it all the way across to the other side of the shop, no problem. And then here's another one, and 2 more outlets. So this is the inside of this square D box, 100 amp box I got. I'm not going to be touching anything because it does have power to it. I wanted to have the lights in here so you can see what we're doing. The top breaker goes to the lights, or the top 20 amp breaker on the left goes to the lights. The one below it goes to the outlets, and then the one below it's not hooked up to anything, but it's going to go to the cranes. And then that 50 amp right there, it goes to the 240 welding plug, and the one below it is probably going to run the air compressor. It's 30 amp. And so how I wired this is you see those 2 yellow covers? Those are your 2 hots. They go on each side of they mount in the lugs on each side of that main breaker, which is 100 amps. And that right in the middle, that is your neutral wire. And it goes to these sidebars that your neutral and your ground's hooked to. So it's pretty simple to wire in. On the right down here, coming from down here from the ground, that's the power in. And then I like to fully strip all the coating off the Romex. Kind of helps you organize things a little bit better in here. But I ran 12 gauge for all the 110, and I think I'm running 6. I'll go look. I think 6. Oh no, 8 gauge. I think on the 240. So this is some of the materials I've been using. This is that 12 gauge Romex, and this is 8 gauge, and that's what I was using for the welding plugs. This is some flexible conduit I got from somewhere. I got it for free. Somebody gave it to me, and I've been using it in some places. It comes in handy when you got some complex bends and stuff, but it's kind of hard to do with the 3/4 EMT, which is what this galvanized stuff is. That's a 3/4 EMT, and like right there, it was just easier for me to run it in this flexible stuff. I've got it up there in that junction box, and I got it coming out here, so that I got a light right out by the door, and if I need to get on the tractor at night or when it's dark out, I can see whether or not there's a copperhead sitting in the seat waiting for me to sit on it or something like that. And you can see out here. Also, it's going to be kind of hard to see probably. So up there on the peak, I'd jump across, and I use that flexible stuff up there too. And then I had to connect the lights. I use some little short extension cords, the light extension cords. So the lights I got little plugs in the back of them to hook them together. That's about it. And the old lights are pretty bright. Just in case anybody want to know, this is the panel I got from Home Depot. It's just a square D 100 amp breaker box. It's about $100, so it was pretty reasonably priced. And it come with, I believe it come with the 50. I almost think it come with either the 50 or the 30 amp breaker, and two 20 amp breakers. But one of the 20 amp breakers it come with was bad, so I'd buy another one. And if anybody's wanting to know how I was bending the conduit, it's never seen it done before. This is a Klein Tools conduit bender, and it's can bend that 3/4 inch EMT. But I believe they do it in different sizes depending on the manufacturer of the conduit. But I just used a 3/4 EMT. I think use the rigid stuff. I think it's 1/2 inch, but it's about the same size. Or I don't know. This thing is meant for, yeah, 3/4 EMT, 1/2 inch rigid, or 1/2 inch UMC. As you can tell by my work, it's I'm a redneck electrician. Stuff this stuff isn't going to be up to code or any, done nearly as well as like a licensed electrician would have been done it. But that's how I know how to do it, and this wasn't really meant to be a how-to video. I was just showing you how I did it. So probably don't copy what I did, but that's how I did it. It's going to work for my own shop here at the house. So it's I got it pretty decently organized. It's not a mess. I've seen some wiring jobs before that are absolute messes in people's shops before, but this isn't too bad. I'm not the world's greatest at the bending the conduit, but I didn't want to bore you guys with that because it's not super difficult. It just if you don't do it all day, every day, all the time, it takes you a little bit to figure out the bender. And by the time you get towards the end of the job, you get where you're doing it a lot better. Takes a little trial and error to figure out how much of the conduit you take up when you go to do a bend, and you start measuring stuff out to get it all done right. Especially when you go into doing like a 180, or you do a 90 and then come right off of that and do another bend that's maybe not a 90, but it's what I've got so far. It's going to make it so that I can work out of here. I'm not going to be doing projects in here really until I get it all finished up. I might do a couple here and there, but I've got welding plug in here to run the MIG welder off of, and I got several outlets to work on stuff. Next thing you'll see is me working on the crane. So I'm gonna do one crane first, see how it turns out. But I'm going to, I'll show you the what I've got for materials so far. I need to order, I have the trolleys, and I need to go order some beams, and I think I got enough plate here, so I'll get some beams in here for the bridge. But thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. I don't know how long it's going to be, but the crane videos are probably going to be pretty interesting. Here's a little teaser of the next project. That is all parts for the crane. I've still got other stuff to get, but that's all parts for the crane, and that's going to make it all electric. Your electric hoist, electric trolleys will run it, run the hoist side to side and the bridge up and down the building. So stay tuned for that one.